Decided to torture myself today by watching a Tubi movie, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. The movie begins with Sean getting mugged outside a club. The guys ask him for everything, including his jewelry. Sean gives everything except his bracelet because it's special to him. When the thugs try to get the bracelet forcefully, he fights back. Unfortunately, his self-defense skills are non-existent, so Sean ends up losing the bracelet and getting stabbed. Earlier that evening, Sean finishes performing his concert as the Temu Chris Brown. After that concert, Sean thanks his team for all the support they've given him. He then thanks his girlfriend Tess because without her, he wouldn't be able to hide his homosexuality. Before going to their after party, Tess goes home to change into her clubbing fit. However, she takes a while to arrive, and Sean can't contact her because there's no service inside the club. This makes him anxious and lose interest in the party. Rob and Andre notice this, so they tell Sean to loosen up, but he's just too worried about his girl. Eventually, Andre excuses himself and goes home. Meanwhile, Rob gets distracted by some club baddies, just enough for Sean to slip out of the club unnoticed. Once outside, Sean finally gets to call Tessa, and it is then that he is interrupted by the men who mugged him. As the men make their escape, someone arrives to rescue Sean and bring him to the hospital. Sometime later, Tess goes off on Rob for being useless at his job. It has already been hours since he went missing, and no one has a clue where he is. They can't even find him in any hospitals. Since Tess is about to crash out, Andre steps in and calms her down, saying they should just go home and let the police do their work. He also tells her that the only thing they can do at that point is to send thoughts and prayers to Sean and hope that he's all right. Elsewhere in the city, Monty indulges in his favorite pastime, observing their neighbor Stacy. That night, he believes something is wrong because Stacy is doing unusual stuff like leaving her car on her lawn. His wife scolds him for being a nosy neighbor, always indulging in the latest chismis.
Shorty wish you'd pay attention to me like that.
And he says they can do undercover work in the bedroom. Sean wakes up and finds himself in a hospital bed, surrounded by medical equipment. However, what he notices next scares him. He's actually not in a hospital, but someone else's home. Then a jolly-looking girl enters the room, bringing some food for him. That girl Fwan, so I would not have mind that at all. Feeling groggy and in pain, Sean starts asking questions. And when he panics, the girl introduces herself as Stacy and injects a medication that calms him down. Once he's calmed down, Stacy tells Sean that he was stabbed twice last night. Fortunately for him, she was driving by the alley and saved him from bleeding out. She claims she stitched him up and assures him that while he's going to be in pain, he'll live. When Sean asks why she didn't bring him to the hospital, Stacy laughs as if it were a silly question. She then says the hospital was 15 minutes away and he was bleeding out. Since she doesn't want to risk him dying, she decided it was better to DIY treating his stab wounds up in her home instead. She then tries to feed Sean some vegan bacon, and turns out Sean is vegan too. No wonder he's skinny AF. The pain of his wounds suddenly becomes unbearable. He asks for some pain meds, but Stacy says he's actually not in pain because pain is only in the mind. She then injects Ozempic, which instantly knocks Sean out. Stacy then starts knitting while watching him sleep, a clear indication that she is a member of the PTA, Psychotic Association. Meanwhile, Tess and Andre are at the police station again and learn the police are paw patrolling again. They have no leads and basically don't have a clue what else they can do. Sean wakes up and begs Stacy to take him to the hospital. She insists she's seen plenty of wounds during her time in the Marines and that his doesn't need medical help. In her, "trust me bro" medical opinion, he'll be fine. Then she casually drops that she's one of his biggest fans and plans to take care of him herself. Oh, this is the Tubi version of misery. Sean asks for his phone, but Stacy changes the subject, using her best fangirl mind tricks to distract him. The TV suddenly flashes with news of his disappearance. Tess appears on screen, crying for help. Sean pleads again for his phone, but Stacy, allergic to defiance, sedates him. When he wakes later, he demands his phone once more. This time, Stacy snaps. Her voice is sharp, her eyes cold, and the knife in her hand tells Sean he should stop talking.
Enough! With the outside noises and distractions keeping us from each other!
Ho, is you cool? Once she calms down, she offers to call Linda, his PR manager, for him. Sean's surprised she even knows Linda, until Stacy explains they met when she interviewed to be president of his fan club. She even met Sean once that day, a detail that now chills him to the bone. Sean finally understands he's trapped with a delusional fan who thinks she's his savior.
You wrote that song for me, didn't you?
He plays along, listening to her ramble about destiny and devotion while hiding his fear. When she promises to drive him to the hospital if he stays one more night, he agrees because, with a knife at his throat, pretending is the only thing keeping him alive. It's true what they say: the hotter they are, the crazier they can be.
Oh, Sean, I love you.
News about Sean spread, and the men who robbed him see it. They become nervous, scared that the authorities might catch them. One of them blames the other, saying they were only supposed to stab Sean, not kill him. In the end, they can only hope that nobody will be able to link them to the crime. Meanwhile, Monty struggles to make love because of the loud music coming from Stacy's house. Despite his wife telling him to throw her back out, he goes to Stacy's house to complain about it. Stacy apologizes for the disturbance, and while they talk, Monty sees Sean's shoes and pants on the floor, assuming someone's getting lucky that night. This gets him excited, so he goes home and gets wild.
Come to mama.
Stacy has dinner in bed with Sean, who praises her for her cooking. Although he now knows how to play by her rules, things quickly turn sour when Sean talks about Tess and how much she means to him. As always, since things don't go her way, Stacy puts him to sleep. Rob goes to the police station to show a viral video of a girl who may have recorded the thugs fleeing after they stabbed Sean. The police quickly brought the girl in for questioning, but it seems she was simply too wasted that night to even remember recording her video, and the only thing they got was a license plate. Stacy has numbed Sean's legs, making him paralyzed. He's shocked to realize she has changed his underwear.
Sean Stevens is blessed in all areas.
Let me see. She goes in for a kiss, then slaps him and claims he's the one who kissed her. This hoe is psychotic. Meanwhile, Stacy's parole officer grows concerned that she hasn't shown up in a while. Sadly, she chose to brush it aside for a beer party with her colleagues. The police finally track down the car of the men who stabbed Sean and arrest them. During interrogation, one of them reveals that a girl hired them to do those things to Sean. Stacy decides to show Sean the recording studio she made for him. She then reveals she did all these things because she believes he also loves her. It seems our girl misunderstood the friendly hug Sean gave her the day they met as a marriage proposal. When Sean can't match her freak, Stacy goes full psycho. She puts on her Marine uniform and begins waterboarding him in the shower, forcing him to say he loves her. As Sean screams for help, his neighbors feel like they heard something. Sadly, even after getting what she wants, Stacy still puts Sean to sleep with Ozempic. For a moment, Stacy has a meltdown, not sure if it's because she got Sean to admit he loves her or she realized she's starting to hurt him. Either way, it's clear her brain is melting down into her big boobs. The police visit Tess and Sean's team to inform them that an unknown girl has kidnapped Sean. Meanwhile, Stacy's parole officer talks about Stacy being a serial stalker. Stacy stalked multiple past relationships, and one of them even died. Awkwardly, the other officer says he's surprised he hasn't dated Stacy yet because he's attracted to crazy. But the girl clocks his tea, calling him gay.
Savage.
She finally decides to do her job and check up on Stacy. Meanwhile, Stacy decides to take things to the next level by showing Sean her shrine for him and that it's time for them to get married. She puts on her wedding dress and even reveals that she got ordained as a minister just for that moment. Sean argues they need a witness, but Stacy makes him back off using her crazy face. It seems she even had their vows ready. She says her vows, but when it's Sean's turn, they get interrupted. It's Monty, and he's there once again to express his concern for Stacy's strange behavior. Annoyed, Stacy threatens to tell his wife that he's paying too much attention to her. Monty backs off at first, but he then sneaks to the back and peeks at the window. He sees Sean tied to a chair, struggling desperately to break free. Unfortunately for Monty, our girl Stacy is 2 steps ahead of him. She gives him a quick taste of some good old mind your own business. Back at the police station, the cops finally found footage that leads them to Stacy. It turns out her real name is Ashley Freeman, and Stacy is just her alias. Stacy brings Monty inside the house to solve their witness problem for their marriage. She then goes on to inject some numbing medication all over Sean and Monty's bodies to prevent them from escaping. To stop Sean from screaming and alerting the neighbors, Stacy also puts a shock collar on him. Every time Sean speaks, the collar will shock him and damage his vocal cords, something that a deep throater like him doesn't want. Of course, Stacy immediately contradicts herself by pulling out a gun and firing it multiple times. With her victory in sight, she performs her supervillain monologue and eventually decides to continue where they left off before Monty interrupted them. While that happens, the police inform Sean's team about Stacy. Rob and Andre decide to meet the police, but leave Tess behind because they think she needs her beauty rest. And once in the station, they learn about Stacy's history, especially her application for Sean's fan club president. Back at Stacy's, she cuts one of Sean's hands free so he can touch her. But just as things are about to get spicy, they get interrupted again. At this point, our girl should realize that no amount of beauty will outshine that cray-cray personality. This time, it's her parole officer who has finally come to check up on her. Stacy almost manages to talk her way out of trouble, but then Sean manages to break free by using the scissors Stacy left conveniently lying on the floor. He falls to the ground and makes a huge commotion, alerting the parole officer. The parole officer decides to check what's going on, but she immediately learns she's just a side character when Stacy puts a hole in her head. Stacy immediately goes to check on Sean, but gets her brain scrambled a little after he slams the door on her. She tries to fire at him, but she misses all the shots. In her frustration, Stacy checks if she contracted stormtrooper aim by firing at Monty and realizes she's all good when she hits him easily. She then goes after Sean, who manages to shoot her using the parole officer's gun. Sean tries to choke Stacy, but she grabs her knitting needle and stabs him in the legs. Sean then desperately crawls out of the house, hoping to ask for help, but Stacy quickly catches up to him and prepares to deliver the final blow. Unfortunately, she suddenly gets shot right in the chest and falls. The man who fired the shot is Rob, who, funny enough, arrived there before the cops. Everything gets sorted out, including Monty, who is still apparently alive. Time passes and Sean visits a doctor to have his throat checked. Although they manage to heal it, the doctors say singing and concerts are simply out of the question, but he can still deep throat if he pleases. Sean has a meltdown, and I can't blame him because I'd be scared of being broke too. Meanwhile, Stacy laughs maniacally in prison after a pregnancy test reveals she's pregnant with Sean's baby. This was just released in 2025 on Tubi, so we may be subjected to a terrible sequel. What did you guys think of this one? It wasn't too bad thanks to how convincingly evil Stacy was.
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We got lots more of foolishness on this channel that'll have you hollering. And if you like to watch more, just click here or here.